And we want to welcome everybody to Funk That System Radio. We have in the studio right now for the first time the official Trish Train Fitness Show. How you doing, Trish?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing, DJ?
You know what? It's been a morning full of work. It's amazing. I mean, God bless, that you're able to do what you love, right?
Right.
And you are actually on the same situation where you do what you love, right? Fitness.
Yes, it's been a lifetime of fitness, and I'm really passionate about it and happy that I'm able to share it with all of you.
That's awesome. That's amazing. The Trish Train, this is debut, pretty much.
Yes, correct. This is our debut, our very first show. This is something new for me.
And we have, guys, you have no idea, guys and girls, you have no idea everything that we have prepared for you. This show is going to be interesting. It's going to be full of information. Take notes. This is for you. This show is for you to change your life. This show could literally change your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm coming to you today with a world of knowledge, over 20 years experience in the fitness industry. So now I have a venue where I can really share it with a lot of people, and hopefully you will get something out of it. I'm going to be sharing fitness tips, nutrition tips, exercise tips, anything that has to do with fitness, health, and beauty.
So, what made you want to participate on the Trish Train? What made you want to do this show?
Well, the main thing that I was focused on when you came to me with this idea was that I'm really wanting to educate people. I still feel like even though we have a world of information, we have the internet, people have access to a lot of information, they still are wanting and needing a little bit more knowledge. And so they look to people who have the experience, and they still have a lot of questions that are unanswered, and some things for some people might be repetitive and other things are brand new. So main thing, number one thing, is to educate. The second thing that is interesting to me and why I wanted to do the show is so I could give back. I have a lot of people that have helped me along the way get to where I'm at right now. So I didn't just get to be a fitness professional overnight. It started a very long time ago. And there have been so many people that have mentored me, they've inspired me in so many ways. Um, and I'm going to be calling upon them to come into the show.
Uh oh.
And those of you out there listening, I hope, those
Yeah.
of you out there, um, you're small business owners. I know personal trainers who have their own businesses, and other people in the industry. They have massage therapy studios, they have aesthetic studios, they have um, a lot of different types of businesses that have to do with what I'm into, which is fitness and health and beauty. So I'm going to be inviting these people in. They're going to share their experience with me, and I'm hopefully going to be able to promote their business, whatever it might be. So it might be their yoga studio, it might be their personal training studio. I'm all about supporting local businesses. I think it's very important, and that's going to be
Straight out
my
of
way.
Phoenix, right?
Yeah, straight out of Phoenix.
We're gonna have to make you a little. We're gonna have to make you a little app, right? Where it says the Trish Train straight out of Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, certainly. Actually, back in the day, I was straight out of Nogales.
Straight out of Hispanic
Yeah,
pride. Wow, it's amazing to see when we as Hispanics in general, all the Hispanics and Mexican, Puerto Ricans, and man, sometimes we don't carry the best reputation, but people tend to forget that there's people like yourself that have succeeded, and it's a role model and it's an example to follow. Straight from Nogales. Nogales is not a big city.
no, I think at the time, and don't quote me on this, by the way, I'm going to shoot out all my disclaimers. I'm not a doctor. By the way, you're going to be listening to the Trish systems, which are unique to Trish. And yeah, Nogales was maybe about 20,000 people at the time. And the Twin City across the border, Nogales, Sonora, was like 200,000 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my high school graduating class, maybe there were 240 students, I believe. So a pretty small school, a small community, um, and not everybody makes it out of that community.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Not
I
everybody makes it.
No, but I had a really great support system. My parents are the best support system of my life, and they continue to be my support, my rocks. My family, my brother. I have one brother, um, and yeah, they kind of just guided me and said, "Go to ASU."
I go to ASU.
Yeah.
So you came from Nogales to study in ASU. A big shout out to your parents, by the way. A big shout out to your family.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Hey, Victor. Hey,
Hey,
Brianna.
Trish's mom.
Nicole.
Hey, Trish's dad. Hello, sir. Excuse me. Apologize for that.
Yes, in the control room we do have phones, and sometimes they're not
Exactly.
off, obviously.
We're no, we're gonna. This is the radio phone, so we're gonna be giving away the phone number so people can call us.
Oh, great.
And
So my dad can call in when he
yeah,
wants to share a story.
when he wants to share a story, he wants to share
Great.
something about Trish, put you on blast.
I like it. And that's actually one of the segments that I'm going to have on a continuous basis is I'm actually going to make myself vulnerable in that way and actually invite my family to torture me on the radio.
That's
I
gonna be
think a
amazing.
lot of
That's
my
always fun.
a lot of my clients and family members, former clients, will get a very big kick out of it. They're going to want to see me squirm over here. But back to why I'm here, the last thing, and very important thing, is that I think I can really help others. And nobody gets to where they are without helping someone else. And helping others, I think, is really the way to go. And believe me, I've done plenty of work for free.
Absolutely. I
You
think all of us in our
know?
industries have, especially,
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, because you, as a fitness, you kind of promote yourself, right? Like it's what you do.
Hmm.
People are going to follow you because of your reputation, because anywhere, any gym that hires you, wants to work with you, maybe a huge factor is what is the following that you have, right?
Well, that doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. I mean, I got my start in fitness. If I want to go way back, when I was a kid, my mom, she taught fitness. Back in
Oh,
the day, jazzercise, and I was a very, let's just say, energetic child. I like to use the word energetic rather than hyper because some people would put me in the super duper hyper category.
what do you mean used to be? I don't know if you guys, anybody out there that knows Trish, she's saying used to be. I don't
Well,
think that ever went away.
yeah, so I mean, one word to describe Trish is energetic. I would have to
Energy.
say that kind of just encompasses the whole Trish thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they couldn't find enough activities for me to be in, really. I mean, I was in ballet, jazz, tap. In the fourth grade, I found out I could run, so I was doing the Junior Olympics. And then in high school, I decided to do competitive cheerleading and run track and field. And so it's been ever since the get go, I've always been into something that has to do with fitness or sports or competition. So,
And what was it that about fitness itself that it comes to the point that you graduate from high school and it's time to choose a career. It's a very very tough time in somebody's life, especially here in the states, because a lot of people go to college, they go to university, and they go for the first degree, they go for the second degree, and they go for the third degree, and they end up doing something totally opposite to complete they got degrees for.
hmm
So in order for you to choose fitness at that point in time and then stay on fitness and still doing fitness to the point where you're in the Trish Train
yes.
fitness show,
hmm
I mean, what made you take that decision that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Okay, well, that's very easy because that's going to be one of the segments on the show, and it's called Growing Up Mexican.
Hmm.
So I have the very traditional Mexican dad, and he basically told me how it was going to be. So Brown University sends a letter and said, "Hey, Trish, we want you to come to Brown University and we want you to run." Well, even I know I was pretty good for a little Mexican from Nogales, and I can say that, by the way, because I'm Mexican. So don't haters out there, don't be starting the comments. But anyways, um, yeah, no, he said no. Your mom went to ASU, I went to ASU, and you're going to go to ASU. And if you want any foreign aid, as far as your education is concerned after high school, then that's where you're going to go too. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes it simple. And on top of it, he really wasn't too excited about me competing in any kind of sports. Dad, can I do cheerleading? No. Can I do track and field? No. I mean, he just didn't really see that it was going to be something that was going to help me in the future. So what happened was I decided that I was going to get a job at the rec center,
Oh, wow.
the Student Recreation Center at ASU. So they had just built a beautiful facility, and then that's where I met my friend Kelly Lafer. Shout out to Kelly. I was hoping that she would be listening in today. I want to bring her in as a guest, as a matter of fact. So she was the coordinator at the rec center, and that's when I started with aerobic fitness.
Aerobic fitness.
Yeah,
And
aerobic
what is it?
fitness.
What's the difference between?
Well, aerobic fitness is anything like spinning or, the typical classes, the Zumba classes, step classes,
Mm.
kickboxing classes. That's your basic aerobic fitness. And then in addition to that, once I got going with that, I got certified through AFA. And then I was teaching there. And then I came across another person in the industry who got me into personal training. So then I sort of just, my dad was like, the typical Mexican dad is like, no, mija, tienes que estudiar, you gotta study, and, I don't want you working because I want you to focus on your school. Well, yes, I was focused on my school, and you better finish in 4 years.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely right.
so I was definitely determined to finish in 4 years, but I mean, I'm a product of my parents' upbringing. They were like, look, we're going to put you in every activity. So I was just used to a level of activity, and I was going to go nuts if I didn't do something. So he said track and field or competitive sports is out of the question. So then that's kind of how I found my way into fitness.
I feel you.
Yeah, because I spent my whole childhood doing every activity. And so
Absolutely.
just to stop, my freshman year in college, my dad said, well, you're not going to have a car, because you have to prove to me that you got the grades and that you can get through your freshman year, pretty much. And so I moved in with Mrs. Bachelier, who was a really good friend of my father's, and she had triplets
Oh, wow.
and another sister. And she was just going to move everybody up to Phoenix. So my dad said, well, why don't you just move in with them? There's already 5 of them. What's one more girl? So I don't know how Mrs. Bachelier felt about that at the time. We lost her husband, Mr. Bachelier, their dad, when we were only 14. And, she was a single mom. And that was the best solution that she found, was to move everybody up here because we were all going to go to school. And so that's how I spent my first year. And that was really hard for me because it was a lot of adjusting, and, I kind of gained some weight. I wasn't used to having that weight on me, because I was always so active, but I was depending on other people to get me to school. I didn't have a set schedule. I was all over the place. I depended on everyone for rides.
Sounds like my life. I don't know. I'm 34 years old. I mean,
Yeah, it was
I'm
crazy.
still going through my college period, guys. So it's only been 12 years of college period. Still in my freshman year, but I'm working. I'm just kidding.
But that's kind of how I got into it. And it's just sort of, after I graduated from college, I went back home. My dad basically made me an offer I couldn't refuse. He said, ándale, mijita, vente y me ayudas, and come home and help me with the business. I need you. You're going to be my right hand. And I'm really grateful for that decision, because everything I know about customer service, everything I know about business, I learned from him. I learned it firsthand. I worked at the shop. We had a family-owned business, rentals, sales, and service of construction-related equipment.
Oh, wow.
So I know a lot about
That's a tough business.
yeah, and it is a tough business for a female
For a female,
to
exactly.
be
That's
in the business.
exactly.
Because really, the Mexican clientele that was coming from Nogales, Sonora, or Hermosillo, where they're coming from, they didn't really want to deal with me.
No, because how good are you gonna know if you're a female, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of that mentality, right? Like, what you know about
Exactly.
construction?
However, over time, they did start to gain some respect for me, because my dad just said, you know what, I'm going to be at home taking my siesta, basically. and so really don't bother me. And then, and it's a Mexican tradition. In the middle of the day, it's a good thing to take a little power nap. I mean, whether you're Mexican or whatever other culture you're from, this is something that we traditionally do. But I'd recommend it for anyone because that little amount of time can really re-energize you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I would let him rest a little longer and come back to the store. And this is when I would get these guys from Mexico talking about, where's your dad? And I really had to deal with it in the best way that I could. And they learned to appreciate me because I said, look, he's not here right now. I'm here. So basically, I was saying, either you deal with me. If you want, I can get him on the phone to confirm the prices that you think I'm not giving you the right price.
Oh my God.
Okay. If that makes you feel more comfortable, occasionally I would hand the phone to the guy. The guy would talk to my dad, and then he would feel more comfortable. But yeah, it took a while for me to earn their respect, and over time it did happen, and I'm really glad for the time that I spent at our family business. It just taught me everything I know about customer service and business.
That's awesome. And just so you know, my siesta time is about 11 o'clock during Thursdays. Well, it's Trish completely changed my world. Let me tell you this. Trish completely changed my world. My siesta time was on Mondays at 9, but then now I'm a psycho bar, losing weight. This is a T-shirt that our luchadora Mystique from Mexico, big shout out, gave me. However, I couldn't fit into it. I was not able to fit into it. It looked like somebody painted it on me. It looked like it was body painted. And now I wore it today, and it feels comfortable.
Now let's talk about this for a moment. So even when I was working in our family business, I always did fitness on the side.
Hmm.
And my dad, really was like, when are you gonna let the hobby go? It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Oh, it's a
But
hobby.
yeah.
It's a mentality, right? Yeah.
Well, but I just wasn't willing to let it go. I just kept on educating myself, getting more certifications, and he basically supported me as long as I was able to still exercise my duties as his right hand. So, which I was happy to do. But you started with me 3 weeks ago at how many pounds?
232 pounds.
232 pounds, and now you're at where?
228.5.
So, see, that's a perfect example of and what did we do, DJ? What were the things that we did? What have you changed in those 3 weeks?
I changed. First of all, I changed the way that I eat. I turns out that my eating habits were not the best,
Oh,
and
really?
it turns out who would have known? Who would
Your
have
eating
known?
habits were making you fat? Now, that is really interesting.
So it was a combination of everything. I was taking medication. I was taking medication that was actually hurting my liver. It was actually hurting my liver, and plus, the I wasn't sleeping enough. I couldn't sleep at night. I didn't really sleep. Then my eating schedule was all over the place. I kind of pretty much, if I was felt hungry, I went and got something to eat. Let's go get Burger King. Let's go get this. Let's go get that. And maybe once in a while is not too bad, like emergency cases. But in our line of work, here on the radio station, entertainment, lucha libre, wrestling, always on the go, it becomes a daily thing. Next thing you know, I gained like 20 pounds. And I'm like, okay, whoa, this has to stop. I started feeling, not really noticing, but feeling heavy.
Yeah.
I sat down on the floor. I was watching TV on the floor, and I'm playing with my dog. I'm trying to get up in a hurry, and I'm like,
Moving slowly, are we? Well, that's what happens. People get busy with their lives, and they don't start to make time for themselves to eat properly, designate that time to where they can kind of plan their meals or, grab a healthy snack rather than, something that's not so good. When you're on the run, you just go through the drive-through fast food. And unfortunately, this is these are habits that we're passing on to our kids.
absolutely, that's pretty bad.
It's very bad. And this is another reason why I want to do this show. I'm going to be bringing in kids in fitness and putting them on the spotlight and um, letting parents know ways that you can keep your kids healthy and keep yourself healthy as well. I mean, if we set an example for our children, they're really going to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If they see that we're eating at McDonald's every day, we don't take care of ourselves, we're smoking, we're drinking, we're not exercising, not taking care of ourselves, what do you think that they're going to do when they grow up?
Absolutely. My monkey sees, monkey does, right? Like that's exactly what they're gonna do. Especially my kids. Especially my kids. Luckily, also, growing up, we were talking about this earlier, and it's gonna be a huge topic for a full show. Um, our backgrounds in every single culture. You know, the Hispanic culture, Mexican culture, Asian culture. Some of them have good habits already by culture. Some of us have really bad habits already by culture. So my mom, she always strived through the last, after I was 10 years old, to kind of give us healthy meals. But it did go a little bit against our cultures. Being Mexicano, no, you got the tortas, you got the burritos, you got
The food
tripitas.
doesn't help.
The food doesn't help.
Definitely.
So when my mom changed the diet, we suffered. It was
What did you
painful.
say? No more tortillas. No
She
more.
changed it. She changed it. Oh, so she got tortillas, but then she got
What made her decide to make that change?
you know what? My mom, she's been struggling with weight problems and back problems, and she's the strongest fighter that I've ever met in my life. Um, and she decided to make a change for everybody's health. She could have been on a diet, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna change the way I eat, and then you guys can order pizza for dinner. You know.
Right.
But no, that's not what happened. She said everybody's eating healthy, and at the moment, I've been an athlete all my life. I was in the wrestling team. I was very blessed to be the wrestling captain by my sophomore year. My second year in high school, I became my wrestling captain. So everything was exercise for me. So I didn't really stressed out what I ate. But then everything changed. Sometime around 28, 27, something happened. I don't know what happened, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to participate on this show because I'm learning. I'm learning from your knowledge. What happened to me? How come all of a sudden I gained 20 pounds from 28 to 29, 30? Just boom.
Yeah. It just, people go through different stages in their lives. And a lot of times we don't handle those changes very well and we don't notice. But next thing you know, you're taking high blood pressure medication, you're overweight, you don't fit in your pants, and you're looking at yourself going, what the heck happened? You're 20 pounds up. Well, it's because, you may have lost your job, you may have had a death in the family that it really
Huh.
affected you, you might have gotten a little bit depressed and not even know it. It's a lot of times you just don't really acknowledge it because you're so busy trying to get through it that you don't realize it until you go to the doctor and the doctor says, look, you're going to have to do something about it.
Hmm.
And so, it happens over time, but it really does sneak up on you. And as you get older, really everybody likes to blame it on the metabolism slowing down. It's not so much the metabolism that slows down, it's you that slows
I
down.
was totally blaming the metabolism, so you just killed me there. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going through my
I'm
30s
sorry to
crisis.
burst your bubble, everyone
Ouch.
out there. You can't really blame it on the metabolism. Yes, it does slow down by like something ridiculous, like a 0.5% or something per year. So as you get
So
older,
not 20
yes,
pounds from one year to another.
no,
Ouch. Okay. Ah.
you can blame that and
Mythbuster right there.
mostly on stress. I mean, people
That's right.
get
Stress.
stressed out.
Uh-huh.
You might have a lot of things happening in your family. You might have busted out a few babies, or your wife busted out a few babies, and they got the attention rather than you. You can't
Right.
focus on yourself because you've got the babies and you've got,
And then the husband's like, where did it come from?
all this stuff.
How did this happen?
Yeah,
No,
it
but
just it
it's
does
the
sneak up on you.
stress. Yeah.
Stress is a big factor. It's one of the main leaders in heart attacks. So if you can find an outlet to relieve some stress, then do it. But pick something
Sweat it out.
healthy. Yes, my solution to everything, and my father will tell you, and my whole entire family, and everyone who knows me, my cure for everything is sweat it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweat it
You
out.
have a cough, sweat it out. Do you
Absolutely.
have, I mean, oh, you're not feeling good today, sweat it out.
And it's
If,
like brujeria, because I had a flu or a cold a couple of weeks ago, and I woke up and I was feeling so
oh
sick out of
yeah,
my mind. And Trish, I always wake up every morning to Trish's text. She- I wake up to the bling at 7 in the morning. I'm like,
good
whoa,
morning.
good morning.
How are
How
you
are you
doing
doing?
today?
How's your diet doing? And she's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling so good. She's like, well, just come in. Just come in. Just come to class. I'm like, all right. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm determined. I'm making a change in my life. I am gonna do this. And I went to the class, and it was so painful to get on the bike and the cycling. And it's great for me. The spin class is really really good for me because I've been hurting. I guess for the same weight that I gained, my
Your
knees
joints.
and joints have been
Yeah.
hurting. So I get to class, and we start spinning, and she starts going halfway through the class. I'm rocking through the music. I'm going like in the resistance, almost like to the one of the highest points that I've ever gone to. After class, I felt great. I
So,
sweated it out.
well, the thing is like this. Everyone has excuses. I'm not a person who likes excuses. I don't like to listen to excuses. And I also get this from my father. Thanks, Dad. He doesn't like excuses. And it was like this. When I came home from college, my dad was like, okay, it was always the same schedule. We always had to be at work at 8 o'clock on Saturdays. He did not care if I went across the border to Nogales, Sonora, and went to Harlow's or wherever I was going to go. He did not care if I was out till 3 in the morning. I had better be up and ready for work at 8 o'clock.
Oh wow.
He instilled a work ethic in me that is so just, you know, a very strong work ethic. And I take that into fitness, and I take it into, I do have high expectations of myself. And those expectations transcend to my people and my clients. I don't, if I say to you, DJ, are you wanting to do this program? Do you want to feel better about yourself? If you make a commitment to me, then I have certain expectations.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even going to work with you if you are not going to be committed. And my clients will tell you too. I don't take excuses. Don't tell me 5 minutes before your session that you're not going to make it.
Hmm.
I won't deal with you because
Absolutely.
it has to come from you. If you're going to create a change in your life, in your body, if you're going to embrace a healthier lifestyle, it has to be a decision that you make it. It's not a decision that I'm going to make for you.
And a lot of people, ask me like, "Oh, you're on a diet?" I'm like, "No, I'm not on a diet. I'm
No.
changing my life. I'm making a life change." Which at some point, because I really did have a pretty healthy, pretty healthy habits, but some point during the last 3 4 years, I changed it.
Yeah, you
Because my
let it
wife
go a
still
little bit.
makes pretty healthy food, but I was the one that I kind of let it go, and I started eating more out, and
Well, the other thing too is portion size. People
oh,
don't know
I'm an
when to
emotional
stop.
eater.
Yeah, so you also have to know what
I'm
your
nervous.
portion sizes are. Yeah, we're emotional eaters. Like, if you're happy, yeah, let's go get a burger. Or, if you're sad, yes, I'm going to eat french fries. I mean,
With
and
chilies, cheese
you're not
fries,
the only one
monster
that does
burger.
that. It just depends on, and this is going to take us into the topic, what I really wanted to touch on for all my listeners is how do you get started?
So we're in day one of the Trish train. That's probably the most important question for everybody that is gonna see us in YouTube, Facebook, listening to the radio, all the people listening to the radio. The first question on the first show, and probably the most important one: how do you get started?
Well, the main thing is you have to make a conscious decision that you want to create a change. So It really has to come from each person, because you can sit there and criticize someone all you want. Okay, let's just say your mom keeps on telling you, mijo, you should do this, mijo, you should do this, mijo, estás muy gordo, mijo, you need to eat better, mijo, it goes in one ear and out the other until DJ decides, you know what, I don't feel good, I'm not sleeping, my doctors put me on this medication, it's damaging my liver. And, there's a lot of people that love you and care about you. If you're not going to do it for yourself, then do it for those around you. They want to keep you around. Your kids need their
Absolutely.
dad,
Yeah.
And matter of fact, if you make an investment in yourself, in your health now, you're going to pay less later. Would you rather buy healthy food and then not have to pay your hospital bills later? End up
Absolutely.
in the hospital because you had a heart attack because you were eating crap all the
Or
time? No.
losing work, right? Or not being able to work anymore
Make
because.
the investment now.
Mhm.
Do what it is that you have to do. It's called prevention. So you
Absolutely.
want to prevent having that heart attack. You don't want to end up in the hospital, because really, if people do not start to pay attention to their bodies and what your bodies are telling you, then it's going to catch up to you sooner or later.
Mhm.
Genetics are genetics. If you're predisposed to something, that thing probably may eventually happen to you, but you're not going to help it any by not taking care of yourself. So
Absolutely.
do everything possible, even though you might be predisposed for, heart disease or cancer or diabetes, whatever it may be. You better your chances of prolonging your life by taking care of yourself now.
Absolutely.
So when you're getting started, 4 questions. I talked about these questions on the first show when I came to promote Cycle Bar. The one question, and you should write this down, those of you who are thinking about starting a fitness program, is you want to figure out, where am I? Ask yourself this question: where am I now? For example, you came to me, you're like, okay, I'm 20 pounds overweight.
Mhm.
You want to know exactly where you are. So if your goal is to drop 20 pounds, then that's your goal. You have to be realistic.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Take it one step
So
at a time, right?
people go crazy and they want to lose 20 pounds overnight. No. You say, where am I? The next question is, where do I want to be?
Mhm.
So you say to yourself, self, I want to be 20 pounds lighter.
I'm
And
gonna.
then you're realistic with your goal, not tomorrow, okay, but in 6 months.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you where I want to be. So I'm gonna have Trish flex to the camera like that. You see that, ladies and gentlemen, everybody,
There you
check
go.
this out.
So,
You see this?
it's little, but
This is
it's.
where I want to be. This is where I want to be. I want that definition. I want that definition of my body, and
Well,
and you know what? Um,
it's not for everyone,
they don't
but
sell
you
it at
can get
Walmart.
there.
You can't. I think I saw it for sale on Kardashian.com or something. I'm not really sure.
It's blood, sweat, and tears get you this way.
Ouch. No credit.
Yeah, well, you're getting there. You said that you're like 4 pounds down, right?
No, I mean no credit
Oh,
because I got really bad credit. So you have to apply
oh,
for something like
yeah.
that.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, that's another thing. Well, okay, on to the third question. How fast do you want to get there?
Absolutely.
You have to
Realistically,
be
right?
realistic about your time frame.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so 20 pounds, give yourself a good 6 months. It's a half a pound to a pound a week. You might get there sooner. It just depends on what changes you make in your diet and your level of activity.
Absolutely.
So that's going to really determine. Now, the fourth question is the one that gets everyone, and I ask this question when any client comes to me with, wanting to start a program. I say, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Exactly.
Because they're like, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds, but then I get the excuses. I get, I don't want to stop drinking wine. I don't want to stop drinking beer. Oh, well, I can't give up this because of that. Or I don't have any time to exercise. That's where all the excuses come in.
Yeah.
In the what am I willing to sacrifice? Because you will sacrifice something
For me, it was the time definitely. For me, it was the time making the time and rearranging my schedule,
to
and
get your workouts
to
in.
get my workouts in,
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm getting home early enough to my home workouts. That I'm not
Time management is
time
very
management.
important, which is why we have this thing called meal preparation.
Uh huh.
This is very important. If you pre prepare your meals, then it makes it easier during the week, especially if you're really busy. So let's just say Sunday, you take a block of time, maybe 2 hours, where you prepare a good amount of fish or chicken or lean meat. Okay, pick which protein you're gonna pick. Then you're gonna pick some carbs, maybe sweet potato or brown rice, perhaps white rice. It just depends on where you are. And some kind of green vegetables. You want to fuel your system with the most green vegetables as possible because they have the most cancer fighting agents.
Cancer fighting agents.
Cancer fighting.
Awesome.
The greener the vegetable, the better to fight cancer.
That's great. That is really, really, really good. And that's one thing that I did have to sit down with my wife and actually go through. Okay, what are we gonna eat this week? We're eating chicken. We're eating tilapia. We're eating fish. We're eating.
And that brings me to another thing that we're going to cover on the show, which is love and fitness.
Love and fitness. That's gonna be a great motivation for a lot of people because love and fitness. Have you noticed? And this is maybe I'm the only one, right? But I've noticed that guys and girls, when they're single or as soon as they end a relationship, what do? Boom! They hit the gym. And all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, they're losing weight, they're looking sexier, blah, blah, blah. But then when they start a relationship, they end up gaining weight. Is it
It's
because
common.
is it because we're getting off the market? Or
I think there's a lot of reasons for that. When you meet someone, you're really happy, especially in the initial honeymoon phase. And you do a lot of social things together, right? You have someone to do stuff with, right? All of a sudden.
Absolutely.
So next thing you know, you're going to the movies, and what do you get? The buttered popcorn and maybe some snacks and a soda.
So love
And then,
is sweet.
oh yeah, oh well, let's go to the wine festival. Oh, okay, so you go to the wine festival. What do you do? Drink a bunch of wine, and then what happens? You get the munchies, and next thing you know, you end up at the burger place, and misery loves company, right? So it's
Absolutely.
like, hey, if you're gonna eat the French fries, pues yo también, I'm gonna have some French fries too. Like you're not gonna stop me from eating those French fries, but so anyway, and then like next thing you know, right? You're in the relationship, 6 months, and both of you gain 30 pounds.
Yep.
And
then
you go, what
problems start.
happened?
No, and then problems start, right? Like then it becomes the
Oh,
opposite.
you think, do I look fat in these jeans? You get the question.
Yeah, and maybe.
Do I look fat in these jeans? And
Yeah.
then what happens?
And then the right answer, right? Like you're like, well, see what happens is that bring. Hello. But you know what? That also brings problems into relationships because some people start getting so insecure about themselves that it's contagious. That is.
Here's the thing. If a person, as an individual, feels good about himself or herself, then it's only going to be better for those around them, okay? So if you get two people that start to feel not so good about themselves, then you're going to have a lot of tension between those two people. Now, with that being said, let's just say you're over here and Lady Voss is over here and you're both just got really fit and then you meet, you were single, ready to mingle, everybody looks good, feels great, you meet and come together. As a couple, you should be on the same page and hopefully try to do the healthy habits together. So I find that I kind of gel more with people that are into fitness,
Absolutely.
or eat healthy. It's hard to be that one person that, for example, like if she's not on the same page as you, she wants to sit there and eat tacos, tacos dorados and some enchiladas maybe and whatever. And meanwhile, you're going to sit there and eat the tilapia and the rice and the vegetables. Well, it's awkward.
It is. It is because
It's awkward.
now you're making the other person feel insecure, and the other person's making you feel awkward.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't
so
go.
so everybody be careful, and make sure when you meet somebody, you guys have the same fitness goals. And you know what? It sounds so strange. It must sound a little arrogant in a way, but it's so true. Like you have no idea how valid that point is. I heard, I've been saying this in Spanish lately a lot. Dime con quién te juntas y te diré tu futuro. Tell me who you're hanging around with, and I will tell you your future. You know what I mean? And
My dad used to say, "Dime con quién andas y te diré quién
quién
eres."
eres. Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. Absolutely.
And then the other one, for all my Mexican listeners out there, si te revuelves con la mierda, te vas a embarrar. That's another one that my dad would always
Yep.
tell me. And if you roll around with poo poo, you're going to smell like it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's going to get all over you. So that's not a good thing either.
Yeah.
But, you know, as far as the eating is concerned, or if you have healthy habits as an individual, you kind of want to gravitate towards someone that has similar habits.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it easier. Now, with that being said, you can be bad, quote unquote, together. And
Yeah.
that's also really fun. So let's just say, let's do the 80-20 thing. So 80% of the week, you're pretty good. Everybody's on the same page. You guys got to the gym 3 times. That's huge. That's like a lot for a lot of people. 3 times is a big deal. Okay?
Absolutely.
And everybody ate really clean. When I say clean eating, people, for those of you who may not know what clean eating means, clean eating is like nothing that's processed or packaged or if it comes out of a box, for example, or it has a lot of sugar, salt, sodium, a can, anything like that, that's not clean eating. Clean eating is anything that comes out of the ground, okay? So we're talking, potatoes, sweet potatoes, fruits, vegetables, anything like that, nuts, whole grains, brown rice, for example, quinoa is good, and your lean. You can have meat,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to limit it and keep it really lean. Chicken and fish are going to be probably your better options, especially if you have weight loss goals. Not everybody needs to lose weight, by the way. You don't
Absolutely.
have to have the same goals fitness wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm on the extreme, and anyone will tell you, especially my family, dad, dad, hi, dad. uh, he considers me like, he thinks I'm like a fitness fanatic,
Uh-huh.
crazy person. And, somebody's got to do it,
Right?
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 So,
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, that was totally gangster. That
that's how
was
you
a
get to
thug life
become the
moment.
Trish train.
Yeah, that was a thug life moment right there. Yeah, somebody's got to do it, you know?
Somebody's got to do it.
I would totally play this song if it wasn't for the Facebook copyrights. That they'd be blocking
We
every
have so
single
many
video.
songs that we could
So
play,
many
really.
songs, right? And as we're getting close to the last block in the show for this very first show, now everybody knows more or less what the Trish Train is about. What is it that we want to accomplish? We want to reach the world because if you are, if you actually, we're getting a lot of hits from Kansas City, New York,
Hey, Kansas.
California.
Hey, New York.
We even
Hey,
have
Cali.
a lot overseas in Europe. So anywhere you are in the world, we want to reach you with this message that the Trish Train, is bringing to the people. And this is some of the topics. We're talking about love and fitness. We're talking about kids fitness, right?
Love and fitness, kids fitness. We're talking about, topics about nutrition
Nutrition.
and health. We're going to have featured local businesses. I want to
Absolutely.
promote our local businesses. I'm going to let you ask me questions. I'll have an open forum as far as if you have any kind of questions you want to ask Trish. That's going to be part of our thing. We're going to have some success stories. I'd love to hear what your success stories are, and if you've had like sort of a weight loss challenge, and you lost 100 pounds or whatever it might be. I'd love to talk with you or talk with your trainer, give your trainer a plug. If you have any products that you want to promote, T-shirts, proteins that are
Let us
coming
know.
out. There's a lady who does essential oils, a massage therapy, because a big part of getting fit is also your recovery.
Yeah. I need to work on that. I'm very bad at recovery.
Well,
Letting my body recover.
yeah, and that's probably my worst thing. I mean,
Hint,
people
hint
recover
for my
in
wife
different
to
kinds
take me
of
to the massage.
different kinds of ways. And that's another thing in love and fitness. I mean, if you have a partner that you're working out with, I mean, you guys can make that a fun thing that you can do together and do the partner
Absolutely.
massage. Okay, you can rub my shoulders if you rub my feet, kind of. And that's how you go. You kind of work together towards your goals, and they don't have to be the same goals. She might want to lose 5 pounds. and you might want to lose 20 pounds. Or maybe you have somebody like Oscar. Hey,
Hmm.
Oscar.
That is trying to gain. He's trying to gain weight. They
He's trying
said.
to gain weight, so his goals are going to be different, but still, there's a healthy way to reach them.
Now I'm gonna put Oscar on blast, bro. I love you. First, before I even say
It's a
anything, I just want
class.
to tell you
Quit
that I
playing.
love you with all my heart, bro. And you know you're my carnal. I will love you forever. But he mentioned something, right? That cardio makes you kind of. I think there's some ideas that cardio will delay the weight gaining process as far as muscle.
Only if you're not eating the right amount of food.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
So it's
here's
tricky,
something.
right?
Let me break it down for you. It's just to make it easy. A lot of times it just can get so complicated, and
It,
people are like,
yeah.
it's just too much, right? It's like, it's just too much to get in your brain. So I try to make things easy for people, and I put it in a way that you can understand it.
Uh huh.
So algebra was not my best subject, and still to this day, Dad, it's not. It's not my best subject, but I do know that an equation is A plus B equals C.
Absolutely.
A meaning what are you putting in? Okay, it's the food. Plus, that's your diet, plus exercise is going to equal C. So whatever your goal is, your diet plus your exercise program is going to give you the result that you want eventually. But you
Absolutely.
have to have the right formula. Okay? So for Oscar, he wants to gain weight. So the thing with Oscar, it's not that he still needs the cardiovascular conditioning. People think that, oh, I'm trying to gain weight, I can't do any cardio. Well, guess what? Your heart needs to be strong in two ways. Okay? And I'll make it super easy for you to understand this. Aerobic conditioning and anaerobic conditioning. Aerobic conditioning is the expansion and contraction of your heart. Okay?
Ah.
It's out and in and out and in. Okay? Aerobic conditioning, and that's with the use of oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's running, jogging, cycling, any number of things that get your heart rate up. Okay? Weight training works on your anaerobic activity and the thickness of the wall of your heart. So it's not just one thing that makes your heart healthy.
It's a
It's
combination of
three
things.
things. It's your aerobic activity, your anaerobic activity, which increases the thickness of the wall of your heart, which is your weight training, okay?
Mhm.
So lifting weights, and your diet, because, your diet can clog up your arteries,
Yes.
stuff like that, So you want to have all of those things. So tell Oscar, if you're out there listening,
He will.
eat for you. Eat more than what you expend, and you will gain.
Oh.
Listen closely. Those of you with a pen and paper, now's the time.
Take note.
Eat less than the energy that you put out, and you lose.
Uh huh.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Eat equal to the energy that you expend, and you're going to stay the same. Very simple. Does that sound simple?
It is. It is
You-
very simple. A plus B plus C.
You,
I had that. I had that. That.
you had that look on my face like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
and here in the states they call it a deer in the headlights. Everybody. I learned that when I was in the military here, the deer in the headlights. But
Well,
people from Mexico, we got the
it
Chihuahua in the
it
headlights
all
thing.
sounds good and it sounds easy, but actually putting it into action is, putting it all into play is harder. But, okay, nowadays we have the internet. Nowadays we have the Fitbit, right? We have actual, you can wear a watch and it'll tell you exactly how many calories you burned, approximately, okay? Because I don't use a lot of those things because I don't think they're really accurate, just for myself. But I'm all about the heart rate monitors. Those are great tools to use, okay? But if you have a Fitbit, it's going to at least give you an idea
Hmm.
without you having to calculate it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. At least it gives you something, a measurement, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And one other thing that is really super important, whatever your goals may be, whether you're trying to gain weight or you're trying to lose weight, is stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
Especially in Arizona. And then a lot of people think that they don't really need to drink that water during the winter, but you actually need it more. You
Mhm.
dehydrate more because we don't think about it as much. You
Yes.
know, in the summer, like it's hot, we're sweating, like we get barely get out of the car, we're like sweating our eyeballs out. Well, yeah, we're gonna think about drinking water, but in the winter we don't think about it so much, so you're more likely actually to get dehydrated.
And actually, one of the in order to make changes, you gotta have the right tools, and this is something that I definitely want to bring, definitely want to bring to the table in another show, is the food pricing, how healthy food is. It could become way more expensive than eating the unhealthy food, the greasy food, and I think that's made on purpose, because
Don't get me started on this, DJ.
you can buy like a dollar burger, right? Like a dollar burger.
Didn't I point this out to you?
Yes,
And
yes.
it all became very
It
clear.
all became very clear
Why do you think that obesity is so high amongst our low income families?
because it's a lot
They
cheaper to be
cannot
fat.
afford to buy the healthy food, the lean meats and the chicken and the vegetables and the fruits and all the stuff that's good to fuel your body.
Uh huh.
It's expensive.
Yeah. For example, ground meat, 70% lean, which is 30% fat, right? Is usually about 30% less expensive than the 20 than the I usually buy 93, 94 now. Now that we've been trying to change our
Hmm.
ways, um, we buy 93, 94%, meat, right,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it's called. Um, and it's actually, you can feel it, you can taste it. The food tastes different. The food tastes
Well,
different.
once you start eating healthier and then you go back, it's
It's
kind
like,
of like,
ugh.
let's just say Sunday,
Uh-huh.
even your body, after it's detoxified, because I kind of put you on a plan where you're kind of detoxifying from all the bad stuff. So I said, stay away from sugar, stay away from salt, no soda, no fried foods, and very minimal amount of dairy products. I let him drink milk because he's just a baby, and
Oh my
he's
God, I love
talking
milk.
about he misses
I
his
was
milk, and I
crying.
said, okay, you can have a glass of milk at midnight when you wake
Mi
up. And,
choco milk.
uh, ay, mijito, tu lechita, okay, yeah. So anyway, so you have to be able to kind of customize your diet for whatever works for you, because whatever works for me may not necessarily work for you. And this is why when you talk with a nutritionist or a consultant, say your trainer, make sure that they ask you a lot of questions, just like I'm asking you, and make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you ask a lot of questions, because not every person is the same.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you may not like fish. Okay, and here I put the diet and it's fish every day.
Mm-hmm.
But how likely are you gonna follow the diet? You're
You
not
just
gonna
make it
follow
twice
because
as hard. Yeah.
you don't like fish, right? So it's the same thing with your workout program. You have to pick something you like.
Absolutely.
Keep it simple. Pick something you like.
Keep it
Take
simple.
baby steps.
Absolutely.
Make a commitment. And when you first are getting started, I'm talking about do things that don't cost anything. Everybody's like, pues está muy caro, que I can't afford it, que the gym, que el gimnasio, blah, blah. Stop right there with the excuses. You can push your body weight. You can pull your body weight. You can lift your body weight. Okay? You can do your strength training, and we'll do some videos where I'll show you some exercises. It doesn't cost anything. You can do it in a tiny room in your home. You can get a full workout in, and I'll show you how to do it. Also, everyone that is basically relatively healthy and can walk, you start with walking.
Absolutely.
That's going to be your cardio, because 10 minutes a day is better than 0 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't really have the time, on your way to work, park at the furthest parking spot. Walk all the way to where you have to be. Take the stairs if you're on the 6th floor of the building.
Little changes,
There are
right?
little things, baby steps that you can start doing, and make the commitment. Say, you know what? I'm going to make a commitment, which you told me. I'm going to make a commitment. I said, can you do cardio 3 times a week?
Mm-hmm.
And that was what his commitment has been. So 3 weeks down the road, he's lost 4 pounds, or 3.5, 4 pounds.
Almost 4 pounds. Getting there.
Right.
The rest of this week, I gotta get rid of that extra half a pound.
Yeah, and each person is different. Some people see results right away, and some people don't see results right away. It just all depends on how you feel your body and what energy you expend.
So basically, people have to stay motivated, right? People have to stay. It's all on you but you can get the right kind of help. For example, I have never experienced, and I've had personal trainers before. You know, when I had
Not me.
a couple fitness goals, but working with Trish, like literally, she sometimes I was
All my
about
people,
to
you know
break.
I take it to a different level.
I was like, oh, you know what? Today is a great day for pizza. You know, it's a great day for pizza. This was like the third or fourth day that we started, and then I get this text. Hey, how you doing, muchacho? How's your diet? Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. So
Let's talk about this
it
thing.
was a reminder.
Let's talk about this for a moment. Here's the thing. You have to be held accountable.
Absolutely,
It's accountability. Okay? So, if you're not going to be accountable to yourself, then be accountable to your trainer.
absolutely.
Now, and this is just, see, I'm micromanage. Okay,
I can
that
tell.
means that I'm going to be calling you, I'm going to be texting you, and asking you how you're doing. And I use this technique because it's one of the Trish systems, and which you'll learn about. The Trish systems, not recommended for everyone. It's what works for me and my people. Just so I can put the disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor, by the way, just so you know. But I know what works with people.
Absolutely.
And I've known you for a while now. I kind of know your personality. And I like to take my people under my wing and give them the most opportunity for success as possible. That means it's going to take some investment from me.
Hmm.
Because I have a lot of things I could be doing rather than texting you and going, hey, how are you doing? But it makes you accountable.
It
And
does.
I
It
find it's
really
motivating.
does. Uh huh.
I don't know if you find it motivating.
No, I absolutely I do. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get to class. I gotta get to class. You know what? Oh my God, tomorrow is such a busy schedule. Okay, what can I move around so I can make it to class? So I even, here at the station, I talked to my director, to Mario Garcia, which we want to send a big shout out to Mario
Thank you so
Garcia.
much for this
Thank you.
opportunity. Gracias. Gracias.
That made all this possible. And I'm like, you know what? These days I'm gonna come in at this time. I'm gonna be at the psycho bar, and I'm gonna be doing this. But now everybody is asking questions. What are you doing? What is it that you're doing?
Well, that's going to be motivation too. So at first, it's 80% of it is making that conscious decision.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it has to be something that you decide. It's not because Trish keeps on fregando, like, come on, you should do this. No, it's not really about Trish in your ear. It's about DJ making the conscious decision. I want to change my life. And the people around you are already noticing all
Yeah.
the changes, and you're more happy and more positive, and the more energy that you have, the positive energy, you're going to be exuding that, and people gravitate towards you. And that's the thing about myself, and people are always asking me about this energy. Well, it's a God-given thing, the amount of energy, because I don't really think it's quote unquote normal. I have a God given amount of energy, and I use that energy to motivate other people.
Absolutely. You're using it
That's
for a
what
good
I'm
thing.
trying to do, you know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we wanna thank you for your time. We wanna thank you for listening in. I know a lot of people are very excited about this new show in Fuck That System Radio, and this show is specifically dedicated to funk that bad system. We're gonna change your system. We're gonna change your life. We're gonna we're gonna make a difference, and this is very exciting to me, and to have Trish on the show as we start this great adventure, which is gonna be full of, oh man, I can't even imagine, like all the topics that we're gonna be talking about, everything that we're gonna be doing on the show. You guys are gonna be amazed.
Yeah, at this time, I just like to thank everyone for tuning in today, for joining us, and also reach out to you if you have any ideas or you have any questions that you would like for me to address. Then please send us your comments or your questions, suggestions, and we'll try to address them as best as possible. We're trying to create a show that is educational, that is helpful, that people can really utilize on a weekly basis to better themselves, to get motivated, and to live a healthier lifestyle.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. This has been the Trish Train, and do not miss it next Thursday at 11 a.m. Make a commitment, or Trish is gonna be texting all of you.
You'll
Make a
hear from me.
commitment. You'll hear from her because she's gonna be doing some videos to remind you that 11 o'clock, 11
It's my
a.m.
time.
It's Trish time. It's a Trish Train time. Anything else? Anybody you want to say hi to?
Anyone else I want to say hi to?
Yeah.
All my peeps, everyone at the Cycle Bar. I'd like to say hello to my family once again. Thank you so much for supporting me and listening in and tuning in. Everybody from Nogales, hola, toda la gente de Nogales, toda la raza mexicana. Feel free to send any questions in Spanish because your girl's bilingual. So hey, if I can just translate it for everyone. I'm looking forward to working with you, to listening to your questions, inquiries, and providing this service to you.
Thank you very much for being here with us, and we'll see you next time.